What's going on, my fellow Jedi and Padawans? Welcome back to another Jedi gaming video. Thank you guys so much for coming back to the channel, and if you guys are new, welcome. Now, we all know with the release of new seasons, Bungie usually gives us a new exotic for each class, and in this video here, want to go over our Titan new exotic for this season, which is called Arbor Warden. Now, this is using your class ability grants a barricade grenade. So it's basically you consume your barricade and it goes into your grenade slot, and then you throw this little ball, and when it lands, it casts your barricade. Now, the special thing about this is it can be paired with any different type of subclass. Usually exotics are kind of based around one single subclass, like Lordly Splendor with Solar Point Contact Brace for that arc, and then like the Ambient Leap for Strand. And this one is versatile with being able to fit basically every single subclass. So we're going to go over my favorite way that I've been using this. It does pair with Strand very well, especially with that Suspend, and it is a little bit of a support, if you will. You can kind of throw your barricade towards enemies and your teammates to help them out, suspend, stun those champions, etc. So we'll get into this build right here. So starting us off right here for our abilities, aspects, and fragments, obviously got our Blade Fury. Now for your barricade, can really go with either one of these. I chose to go with the Towering Barricade. Seemed to work the best as that support class, if you will, using this to protect your teammates as well as yourself. You could go with Rally Barricade if you want for that little quicker reload. Jump totally up to you. Obviously our Frenzy Blade for our melee, and then again Grenade kinda up to you. I went with Shackle though, just because Suspend is absolutely nasty for Strand and that synergy. Definitely my favorite of the verbs. Unravel is very good as well, but Suspend definitely what I was going for with this build, especially with consuming that grenade and throwing it, as you will see with our aspects here. Now for me, for our first aspect, I went with Into the Fray. Destroying a Tangle or casting our super grants us Woven Mail. While we have Woven Mail, our melee recharge is a lot faster. So we have that triple melee with our Frenzied Blade, and we're going to be creating Tangles a good amount with this, especially with the Unraveling on this build and the Suspend. Next on the list, which pairs perfectly with that Arbor Warden, we have Drenger's Lash. Activate your class ability to create a ripple that travels and suspends and damages targets that it hits. This pairs with our grenade that we make from that chest piece, so we can throw this out and suspend an enemy that is in front of us, basically extending this reach. And like I said, you can help out your teammates, throw your barricade towards them if they're in trouble, and it also suspends that enemy. So very, very good with ad management, and like I said, pairs absolutely perfect with this aspect. Now, moving on to our Strand Fragments, Thread of Mind. This is going to help us get that class ability back so we can continue to consume it to throw our barricade out that via grenades. So defeating Suspend targets grants us class ability energy, hence why we're using Shackle as well as that Drenger's, because we're going to be suspending enemies everywhere. Next on the list, we're going to have that Woven Mail being obtained by picking up Orbs of Power, which will also give us our melee regen increase. So this helps with that survivability, and we will be creating orbs everywhere with this build, especially with the weapons and etc. with that we have for that Strand synergy. Now, another way that we're going to be able to spam our Shackle Grenade and suspend even more energies, allowing us to get back our class ability, is Thread of Generation. Dealing damage generates grenade energy, and this is damage for any source, whether it be melee, super, or your weapons. So we're going to get grenades back very, very quickly. And last but not least, we're going to have Thread of Continuity, so that Suspend, Sever, and Unravel effects applied to targets have increased duration, mostly for the Suspend, but like I said, we're going to have some Unraveling with this build, especially because of our artifact this season, but definitely for that Suspend, so the targets basically never hit the ground. Now, when we go on to weapons here, I'm going to be using Rufu's Fury as our auto rifle because of Demolitionist and Paracausal Affinity. We're going to get our grenade back on those defeats, and then Paracausal Affinity, we're going to gain some energy that matches the final blows. So strand on strand is going to give us an increase to damage for this, which is nice for that anti-barrier and just that strand synergy like I'm saying. Now, when we move on to our energy slot, I'm going with first and last. Out here, auto-loading Vorpal, very good at tanking those champions and bosses when we suspend them. You can pull this out or your Thunderlord and just absolutely annihilate those champions, mini-bosses, etc. Then, like I said here, with the Thunderlord, we got this on for that nice DPS, as well as our Overload champion. So we're going to have Barrier in our auto rifle, Overload in our Thunderlord, and then Suspend, of course, for our unstoppable champions. Now, moving on to our artifact, we're going to be using our anti-barrier auto rifle, obviously for that Rufus's Fury. Next off, we're going to be using all three of these in the second column with authorized strand, authorized melee, as well as Technicolor siphon, so we can have that dual siphon of strand and arc, as well as our melee and strand mods cost us a little bit less. Now, on top of that, we have these very good unraveling effects in our parks. We have increased the amount of damage dealt by unraveling a target via improved unraveling. On top of that, our strand weapons gain that when we have woven mail. So every time we gain woven mail by picking up those orbs of power, casting our super, whatever it may be, we're gonna get unraveling rounds on that Rufu's Fury, and they're gonna get even better because of this. And then that pairs into conductive cosmic needle. Targets affected by strand take increased damage from arc and void, so this is going to be nice for that as well, and just in general for our teammates when we're going to get that unraveling going on, suspend going on, they're going to be able to do a lot more damage via their arc and void abilities. And then of course right here we're going to have squad goals, performing finishers with woven mail grants woven mail to our allies, which just adds to that support of this build. Plus, if you are solo and you use a finisher, it will refresh your woven mail or devour amplified, whatever it may be, but for us we're using that strand. Now, moving on to our armor mods right here, we're going to be using that Technicolor Siphon for that arc and strand right there, so all of our weapons on multi-defeats are going to create us orbs of power. Playing into that support build for the Titan here, suspending everything and giving our allies as well as ourselves heavy ammo finder and heavy ammo scout, so there's going to be heavy ammo everywhere for you as well as your teammates. Moving on right here to our arms, we're going to be using Bolstering Detonation, Focusing Strike, and Heavy-Handed, since we're going to have that woven mail up a lot and get our melee back quickly. Heavy-Handed on those suspended targets when we get those powered melee defeats, or just in general a powered melee defeat is going to create us orbs of power, which again, picking up those creates us that woven mail, giving us unraveling rounds, etc., that recharge rate and everything. Next, we're going to get that class ability as well as class ability when we get melee damage and grenade damage, giving us the spam for that grenade and consuming it on our chest piece. So the double class ability when we do damage with our grenade as well as our melee. Now, tried to make this thing look as good as it can. Definitely kind of funky with the flowers, but I love the glow and I think it ended up looking pretty fire in my personal opinion. Now this, we got the Barricades, that exotic perk using your class ability channels defensive light inward, providing a grenade that creates a barricade on impact. Like I said, you consume that energy, goes into your melee slot, so you press your melee button, it'll throw that little grenade out and your barricade will come out wherever it hits. For us, it's creating that nice strand suspend line for us, and I think it works very, very well with this subclass specifically. Now, on top of that, for our mods, we got charged up as well as that emergency reinforcement for that end game activity. Staying alive, we're going to have woven mail plus this, so it's going to be very, very good for that survivability aspect. Plus, again, we're going to be giving heavy out, giving woven mail out to our guardians, as well as that unraveling arounds and that conductive cosmic needle, allowing them to do more damage. So that support class definitely comes into play with this build. Now, moving on to our legs right here in these mods, we're going to have Recuperation, Innervation, Absolution. Recuperation is going to give us health when we pick up Orbs of Power. Innervation is going to give us our grenade each time we pick up Orbs of Power, so we can shackle more enemies. And then Absolution, we're going to get all of our ability cooldown when we pick up Orbs of Power. So Woven Mail, plus all of these are going to proc, and those orbs are going to be everywhere from not only our melee, but also every single one of our weapons in that Technicolor siphon. And last but definitely not least, allowing us to easily pick up those orbs. It even works with the chest piece when we throw out their grenade. Powerful Attraction automatically collect nearby orbs when we activate your class ability, whether it be us throwing down our class ability or consuming it to throw down the barricade farther up. This will work and collect us those orbs of power, giving us Woven Mail and all of those mods on our boots. And then of course Bomber and Distribution. Bomber so we can get our shackle grenade back, and then all ability cooldown when we use our class ability near targets. So this allows us for that crazy ability spam of having our melee get back very fast with Woven Mail, our Bomber and Shackle with that Suspend and Thread of Generation plus our mods, and then on top of that our ability is going to come back very quickly with our shield, so we're going to be able to pop that exotic and use the Barricade perk very often. Like I said, very fun. You can use it in a lot of different situations. Very fun to be being chased by an enemy instead of having to stop on the ground and go through the barrier animation. You can just jump up in the air, throw that grenade down, it's going to suspend enemies, and you're not going to have to worry about that animation, which definitely can get you killed sometimes, especially in that high content where stuff starts one-shotting you or hitting you very hard. This is going to be very nice to throw out that protective barrier from distance, or even make a push in Crucible, something like that. Throw out your barricade, run behind it. It has endless potential, and like I said earlier, you can use it with any single class, so it's not directed just towards Arc, just towards Solar. It is variable, so very excited about that. We don't have too many exotics that spread that category, so definitely worth grinding for this. You're going to want that resilience all the way up, and basically going to want to get your class ability back as fast as you possibly can, so you can continuously pop that barricade. So thank you guys for that support. Truly appreciate it. If you guys like the content, hit that subscribe button and bell so you don't miss out on any of these build guides, as well as weapon guides that we got coming out on the channel, live streams, etc. We do like trying to help people out through raids, dungeons, Crucible, Iron Banner, just messing around inside of the game. So don't be afraid to join the Discord as well. I truly appreciate that support lately, though. Y'all have been killing it, and I appreciate every one of you. I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.